For the first time in the Open era, Roland Garros produced two first-time Grand Slam champions in the same year, one on each side of the draw. A 19-year-old Russian who's been circling this moment for a couple of years, and a 29-year-old German who's been chasing this for over a decade. Welcome to the Tie Break Pod. Today we're breaking down the 2026 French Open, Roland Garros, a tournament that will be remembered for a long time. We're going to talk about Mirra Andreeva, Alexander Zverev, Maja Chwalinska, and Flavio Cobolli. Diving into this historic win for Mirra, she defeated the qualifier Chwalinska 6-3, 6-2 in just 1 hour, 22 minutes. She is the youngest Roland Garros women's champ since 1992. She's the first Russian woman to lift this trophy since Maria Sharapova did 12 years ago. Some pretty good company to be in. She dropped only one set all tournament. She played 7 matches. That's a heck of an achievement right there. First player born after 2005, man or woman, to win a Grand Slam singles title. Looking back at her journey to get to this moment, in 2023, she qualified for the French Open main draw, got to the third round in her Slam debut. 2024, she shocked Aryna Sabalenka in the quarters, youngest semifinalist at Grand Slams in general since 97. 2025, she lost in the quarterfinals, another deep show for being 18, 19 years old. She was not declining. Yeah, her progress was get to the semis, get to the quarters, and now champion. Still a little bit of pressure building of, all right, we're around there. Too many people are too quick to write off. Oh, you've been there. Why aren't you winning yet? She still had a great 2025. She won Dubai. She won Indian Wells. She defeated Sabalenka in that final. Became the youngest Indian Wells champ since Serena back in 1999. Entered the top 10 for the first time. Had 6 titles coming into 2026. She's been coached by the 1994 Wimbledon champ, Coach Martinez, since early 2024. I think this has been a big key to her tactical development. Some people were asking, I don't know if this is fair, but some people were asking, was she regressing after that quarterfinal loss? I mean, yeah, that stung. We saw how she sometimes reacted to the crowd, got in her own head a little bit. There was a lot of noise around her, and she quieted everyone here. Or she maybe she turned those criticisms to cheers, to admiration. I loved her trophy speech. Last but not least, I also want to thank myself for believing in myself, for always giving 100%, even when it's tough, trying every day to be better as a person and as a player, believing that I can do this while fighting so many demons inside of me. Only I know how tough it was for me and how nervous I was throughout these 2 weeks. She was never as calm as it looked on the outside. This win, I think, is going to release a ton of weight off of her shoulders. She wore that custom jacket that said, I would like to thank myself. It's kind of becoming her brand now. What this does for her future, she's gonna rise to world number 6. That should be official tomorrow. She is leading the race to the WTA finals. She's already beaten Sabalenka. She's beaten Rybakina. She's beaten a ton of others. She's won on clay. She's won on hard. She's started showing some more flashes on grass. She's going to be the face of women's tennis for the next decade and a half. She's only 19. We could have 16 more years of this. We could have even longer than that. She also didn't seem to celebrate for too long. At her press conference, honestly, now I'm already thinking of how I'm going to prepare for the grass season, how I'm going to play grass tournaments. I feel like this thing is a bit addicting, and I really want to do my best to experience all of this for a second time. She has her goal to be a multiple slam winner. There is zero doubt in my mind that she is not going to be a one slam wonder. This is the first of many for her. I think she could be a very dominant player in the WTA. She's going to continue to rack up 250, 500, Masters 1000s. And she's going to rack up some more majors. Moving to the men's side. A little bit older. We had the 29-year-old. Been in 3 Grand Slam finals before this Roland Garros finals today. And it took him 5 sets. The first set and the final set were both very dominant, 6-1 in both of those. It's kind of like bookends of closing the chapter of being one of the best players to not win a slam. Alexander Zverev finally captured his first slam trophy. He's the first German man to win Roland Garros since 1937. He's the third German man in the Open era to win a major at all. Joined some pretty good names. Michael Stich, Boris Becker. He only dropped 2 sets in this tournament. Yes, some context matters. Jannik Sinner was upset in round 2. An aging Djokovic was beaten by Fonseca in round 3. Alcaraz missed this tournament due to injury. He's also missing Wimbledon. This was a golden opportunity for him. He captured it. Some people want to put an asterisk on this championship. I don't think that's fair. You could also say there's an asterisk on the 2020 U.S. Open. In that final, Zverev was 2 sets up on Dominic Thiem. He could not close that out. Serving for the match, ended up losing in 5. Super painful. It is unfair to, say this is a Mickey Mouse slam. I said it from the get-go. Podcast with Steve, I said Mirra was going to be the next woman to capture her first slam, and I said Zverev was going to win Roland Garros this year. I thought he would have to take down Sinner to do it. I still had belief in him. In 2024, he also lost Roland Garros to Carlos Alcaraz in 5 sets, lost in straight sets in 2025 Aussie Open. 3rd time was not the charm. 4th time was the charm for Zverev. After that 2025 loss, he said, I don't want to finish my career as the best player ever that never won a slam. He doesn't have to worry about that anymore. He held that tag for years. There was real debate around there if it was him, if it was David Ferrer, if it was Tsonga, if it was Thomas Berdych. Those 3 never got the chance to be a slam champion because of the big 3. Zverev was kind of in that unfortunate window of coming in to the picture as someone who was kind of on the back of the big 3 dominance. They were still top elite players, gatekept him. And now Alcaraz and Sinner have, until now, they won the last 9. Now that he's won, who holds the title of the best to never win? Is it Tsitsipas? I don't think so. Yeah, he's reached a couple slam finals, had a couple leads there. He's age 27, a couple years younger than Zverev. He's won the ATP finals. Is it Casper Ruud? Been to 3 slam finals. He's a very good player. I don't think he has the ceiling to get there. I don't think he has the consistency to get there. Of active players, those are probably the 2. I think historically, David Ferrer's up there. Tsonga's up there. I know I briefly touched on him talking about the new Musketeers. I'd love to hear who do y'all think is the greatest active player without a slam right now. I also want to bring up an interesting parallel of Andy Murray. How much is Andy Murray and Alexander Zverev? Are they similar? I mean, Murray won 3 slams. He's remembered as a great player, but he operated in the shadow of the big 3. He had to kind of accept, hey, I'm going to be the 4th best player of the golden age of tennis. I mentioned Zverev came in kind of at the end of that era. The big 3 winding down, but now It's the new era, the big two. They're peaking right now. Zverev's lost 9 straight to Sinner. He's 0-2 in slams against Sinner and Alcaraz. So does Zverev step into that Andy Murray role? Top 3, top 4 player, a slam champ, but not that defining champ, not being the player or one of the players that defines an era. He could win a couple more, depending on how injuries fall, how upsets fall. It's been shown that neither of those players are bulletproof. I think that this is going to be a major weight off his shoulders. It could allow him to play a little more free. It could also cause him to play a little more tense and be like, okay, I've won a slam. I have to prove that that was not just a lucky draw. That was not just the circumstances. That could happen. This could be the only one he gets. It could be one of 3, 4, 5 that he gets. I will say a key difference when looking at Murray is Murray never benefited from this wide open of a draw. Zverev got that opportunity, made the most of it. It showed that, hey, there's pressure on. He is the favorite. Pressure makes diamonds. He proved that at Roland Garros in 2026, he was a diamond. He's a Roland Garros champion. Whatever comes next, he's etched into history. I want to talk about the runner-ups. Maja Chwalinska, the most unlikely finalist in the modern Open era. She's a 24-year-old Polish left-hander, friends with Iga Świątek. She had to play through 3 qualifying rounds to get to the main draw. She beat some decent players, Kalinskaya, Sakari, Perry, the hometown hero. She's the second qualifier ever to reach Roland Garros women's final. In 2021, she took a break. She stepped away from the sport for mental health reasons, talked about suffering from depression for a year and a half. She told reporters this year, quote, "I pushed at the beginning. I thought I just needed to stay very strong, tough, and just keep practicing. But then I just couldn't get out of bed anymore. I was just lifeless. To be honest, I knew that I needed to take a break because otherwise I'm just not able to live." She did not know if she'd ever come back. She didn't know if she'd ever pick up a racket again. And look what happened. She came back. She made it to a slam final. She's jumping from 114 in the world to top 30. I want to say last time I looked was possibly number 21. She earned over 1.6 million from this tournament. That is almost double what she's made in her entire career. This opens up a lot of opportunity for her, both with sponsors, with tournaments, potentially getting wild cards. I know that with Wimbledon, a lot of those have already been, that draw has already been set. So whereas she would go in seeded, she's not able to right now. Hopefully she can get a wild card. I think that'd be tragic for her not to be able to get that. Her runner-up speech was very gracious. She talked very well about Mirra. In quotes, here she is. "I wish we could see a better match today, but Mirra is too good, so I guess it's her fault. I tried my best. I'm sorry. I will never forget these 3 weeks. Paris will forever be in my heart." She was not able to pay her hotel bill at Roland Garros. She was more than likely, as a qualifier, not expecting to be there past round 1, maybe round 2. They don't get paid per diem until after the tournament. They don't get paid any of their winnings until after the tournament. She had a Polish company, Oshi, step in, help foot some of the bill. She ended up having a few makeshift patches on her shirt by the end of this tournament. She found herself in the second week, and it's a great story. And the bigger story here is that mental health is in sports. She's proof that stepping back, stepping away is sometimes the only path forward, and that you can come back and shock the world. And it was great to see. I loved that even after the loss, she took some time to be there for the fans, take some pictures, sign some autographs, very gracious. She'd only played 20 slam matches or 20 tour matches in her career before reaching a slam final. She's not expecting a wild card to Wimbledon. I hate that. I wish that there'd be some pressure on them to get it to her. But obviously, I'm not going to dive too much into this, but with Serena wanting a wild card, who's going to pull in the media? Who's going to pull in some money and attention? But also she's done so much for tennis. She deserves that. I don't think there's any doubt there. Chwalinska also mentioned how she knows there are so many great players outside of the top 100, how she knows a lot of these, and she hopes that her run here can inspire them. Talks about how the gap between the top 25 players, top 50 players versus those ranked from 100 to 300, it's overestimated a lot. It's a thin line of skill. So hopefully we'll be able to see some more qualifiers make runs, new names always come into the sport. It's never a bad thing. And then talking about her story, she did not come from a lot of wealth. Her father was an electrician. Her mother was a receptionist. They worked to support her and support her dreams. They were very supportive and uplifting when she had to stop for her break. And I think that's always good to see someone come from humble beginnings. And now also to talk about the men's side. Flavio Cobolli. A bit of a new name. He was in the top 25 coming into 2026. I think he was top 15 entering Roland Garros. He'd won his third ATP title this year. His father's his coach, Stefano Cobolli. He coached at the Rome Tennis Academy. He's a former player. He made the final, taking out Felix. He came into an all-Italian side with Arnaldi. Unfortunately, Matteo Arnaldi had to withdraw due to illness. I cannot imagine how bad that must have been for him to not even give it a shot, to not even go out there and just drag yourself through half a set, through a set. If you get beat 6-0, that's had to have been horrible. I know he touched a little bit on it. I'm not going to go into all the details. And before that, the other Matteo Berrettini, had to withdraw during his match with Arnaldi due to injury. And he had injured his hip, thigh. I need to get some more details on that. Hopefully this will not be something too serious. Obviously, he wanted to continue with his match. His team, his box kept telling him to stop, and he wanted to push through. He's been in a final at a slam. He wanted to get back. He was ready to risk it all, and unfortunately could not. Wishing a speedy recovery to him. Going back to Cobolli, he's only the third Italian man to reach the Roland Garros final, the most recent being Jannik Sinner. I think everyone expected an Italian man to be in the final. Just I don't think we thought it'd be Cobolli. I don't think that, if we said there were 3 Italians in the Roland Garros quarterfinals, people would think, okay, it's Sinner. Pre-tournament, pre-withdrawals, okay, it's got to be Musetti, Sinner, and Berrettini. Arnaldi, Cobolli, they made some good showings. Really good to see. I think Cobolli has a very high ceiling. I think he has, out of the youngsters that made deep runs here, he is a little older than Rafa Hodar. I think Rafa Hodar might have a higher ceiling just due to age and already making such a good run here. Speaking of Hodar, real quick, he is 19-3 on clay in 2026. Made his Roland Garros debut, reached the quarters, and he was described as a young Carlos Alcaraz 5 years ago. That's pretty high praise. And if that ends up panning out, then we're in for some very exciting tennis in the next decade and a half, due to having Sinner, Alcaraz, potentially Hodar, Cobolli, a lot of these youngsters that are. Jacob Mensik, I want to touch more on him. in a future episode, but he already has a Masters 1000 title. I think he's underrated and slept on. Cobolli, going back to him, he's kind of sandwiched. How I mentioned Zverev was kind of sandwiched between the big three and now the big two. He's 24 years old. Sinner's younger. Alcaraz is younger. Zverev's a little older. When could he realistically win a slam? He might need the stars to align again where Sinner falls early, Alcaraz falls early, someone gets injured. Totally possible. This tournament showed that it's possible. I don't think at the moment he can close the gap and win best of 5 consistently against Zverev, against Carlos, against Jannik. So I don't know when he can realistically get to another final. He cannot really manufacture a run at his current level when both of the big two are at their peak, when Zverev is playing his best. He is in the top 10, got that Grand Slam final on his resume. How does he fit in? He has one of the best players from his nation with Jannik Sinner, who's dominating. He plays with some good confidence. He always talks about never putting pressure on himself. And, if he can have that mindset at a young age in his first slam final, that's rare. Maybe that can be something that can continue to drive him. I mean, the bottom line is we got to watch for him. He is real. The biggest question is just timing. He can make these runs when the circumstances are right. Can he sustain this level? Can he make a similar run when the big dogs are healthy, when the big dogs are present in this tournament, in other majors? I don't know. That's something that we're going to just have to keep an eye on. Beyond singles, there's plenty more to mention about this year's Roland Garros. Alfie Hewitt and Gordon Reed claimed their 7th successive men's wheelchair doubles title at Roland Garros, 7 consecutive. They won in straight sets. They have not lost a doubles match in Paris since 2019. Their Grand Slam men's wheelchairs doubles titles as a team are 20, or together are 24. Hewitt, he did fall short of a singles double. Don't say that 5 times fast. He lost the wheelchair singles to the world number 1 in straight sets, Tokito Oda. Oda, he claimed his 4th successive Roland Garros wheelchair singles trophy, his 9th overall slam, and he's only 20 years old. In women's wheelchair singles, De Groot returned from hip surgery. She got her 24th slam wheelchair singles title. A dominant straight sets win, 6-1, 6-0. On the doubles side, Katerina Siniakova and Taylor Townsend won the women's doubles. That's their 3rd Grand Slam together. Siniakova, that's her 11th major doubles title overall, her 4th Roland Garros. She also has a mixed doubles, so she has 12 slam doubles titles. Men's doubles, Granollers and Zeballos defended their title. It's their 3rd major together. Zeballos called it, he's 41 years old, called it one of the best moments of his career. Well, we've been treated. We got 2 first-time slam winners here in one tournament. Andreeva, she's already thinking about the grass. Zverev, he's finally free, finally got that monkey off his back. Chwalinska proved that stepping away isn't always giving up. And Cobolli just put himself on the map for someone to watch for that second tier of players, of good, possibly great players, maybe not elite yet. And he's someone to watch for the next decade. Roland Garros 2026, you delivered. Fantastic tournament. I'm already looking forward to the grass season. I cannot wait to see, obviously, what Wimbledon brings. I did want to touch real quick the Stuttgart draw. We got Ben Shelton, Tommy Paul, Batista Agut, Nick Kyrgios. He's coming back. He's playing Mutet. Be a fun match. Tiafoe. We got Bellucci. We got Landalusi. We got Taylor Fritz. That's a stacked ATP 250 event. Players wanting to get ready for the grass season. Cannot wait. It's gonna be great. We're in a really good year of tennis so far, and I hope it continues for the next half of the year. Got 2 more slams coming our way. Obviously, we got the ATP WTA finals and a number of ATP WTA events. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is the Tiebreak Pod. Check us out, Spotify, YouTube, Apple, and on socials. We'll catch you on the next one.